right, I'm here with Wayne Brezinka at the Sound of History, at his Sound of History exhibition here at Hank Snow's Ranch. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm excited, and I'm really glad that the night's finally here.
I mean, the line is out the window down to the church where everybody's parking.
Is
pretty
it really?
much. People just keep coming. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm so thankful. We had a lot of RSVPs, and you just never know who's going to show up, but there is a line. I mean,
You're playing Mother of the Bride tonight as everyone's coming in to see the picture and
yeah,
go
like a funeral.
Yeah,
We're like a funeral.
No. Well, not with that piece you have in there.
What?
So we were talking this past Thursday about your piece. You brought it into the station. It was beautiful. I was trying to explain it to everyone who was listening what it really was like, because I said it's a painting, but it's not a painting because there's wires in it and there's a money clip and a prescription bottle, and it's really just awesome. So how would you describe, I mean, the piece in general? It's mixed media, but every time I look at it, I see something different. I think that's one of the craziest things about it.
Well, a lot of people say that it doesn't translate well in photographs. I don't think it does. So many people say that to me when they come and look at the work in person. And because it's such a 3D in-depth, piece, it projects off of the canvas and takes you into it, in real life. So I love it. I mean, I love the kind of work that I do, and storytelling, and pulling people in a unique way into, in this case, a portrait.
I mean, it's so tangible, and it does exactly what I think you set out to do, which is pull people in, because I know that when I even saw it tonight, I tried to look at it from a different angle, and then I saw something else, and then I saw something else. Where did you find all of the pieces that kind of put the puzzle together, so to speak?
Yeah, the story behind the portrait is...
How in the world did you find Colonel Tom Parker's hot water bill? Is that what you found?
Yeah, that's his water
How
heater
did you
bill.
find that?
Well, the guy who commissioned the piece, Brian Oxley, was here earlier, purchased the rights to the entire home of Colonel Parker and the Elvis fan club, the original Elvis fan club. And so parts and pieces that he would collect, he gave me to incorporate into the piece. And so they all came from him. So they're actually just down the street in Madison,
okay.
Where the property was. And Hank Snow's ranch, where we're at tonight, connects the dots back to Elvis and Colonel and Hank. So it's all like a full circle. So that's what I thought it would be really cool to have an exhibition in this, can I say, kick-ass house?
Yes, you can totally say that. You can absolutely say that. It really does connect the dots, and I try to be that person who has all of the factoids and country music trivia, but I think Eddie Stubbs has me beat on all of that, because he is a walking, talking country music encyclopedia. So if you could connect the dots for maybe some listeners who don't necessarily know the relationship of Hank Snow to Elvis. I mean, you walked in, you said, "Oh yeah, Elvis played that piano in Madison, Tennessee."
Right. Well, I'm learning a lot about Madison, and I think I shared with you the other day, I think it would be really cool to do a music documentary on Madison and the music that came out of Madison, not Nashville, because most of the stars in the 50s and 60s lived in Madison and Andersonville. And so the more I learn about this area, which really is their hidden treasures, this home, you drive by it and it just looks like a normal house until you pull in and then come into the house.
And then you see the Rainbow Barn and the tour bus.
And the barn in the back, if you research Hank Snow's album covers, he's got that barn on many of his covers. He's photographed on this property. But Elvis, when he was in his 20s, I believe, young, just starting out, would come here and hang out with Hank and his son Jimmy. They became good buddies, and would carouse around with the girls and do crazy stuff. But did play the piano that's in there. That was original and still here. Hank Williams played that piano in the living room. But all the Naughty Pine, and just the fact that Patsy Cline walked through this house, and, music royalty, would come here. Everybody wanted Hank's approval on their music. Does Hank like it? If Hank likes it, then it's good,
And there was certainly a place to do that with the studio in the back.
Right, exactly.
I was shocked. I know you had talked about a studio being in the house, but when I walked in and saw a mixing room and basically a literal... I'm talking analog cutting room floor.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, I'm so used to seeing, Pro Tools up on a computer and seeing someone work that way.
Yeah.
I was speaking to someone who said that they were cleaning up for the event tonight and found actual pieces of audio.
Really?
Yes.
Are you
tape,
serious?
Actual tape on the literal cutting room floor right here in this house.
I've got to find out who found that because I want it.
Yeah. Save it with all you could use it in another piece.
That's
perhaps.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite little piece of something or other in the Elvis portrait?
That's a great question. Actually, the wires in his hair, I think.
That's mine too. I'm glad you brought that up.
A lot of people comment, where are the wires? Tell me about the wires. And those are from the elaborate telephone system in the fan club, the original Elvis fan club from the mid-50s. Ed Sullivan, which was a big TV personality, back in the 50s, supposedly called Madison, Tennessee, talked to Colonel Parker and said, I want that kid on my show. And they began negotiating. So the significance of the wires is, to me, I've got to rip them apart and somehow incorporate them into the portrait. So.
Well, I mean, you did justice to that head of hair that is just gone through the ages as just being the pompadour, Elvis's pompadour, with wires, with the fan club telephone wires.
Yeah.
Gosh, there must have been some crazy calls on those telephone wires. I can only imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some horrendous calls, some amazing historical calls like Ed Sullivan. Who knows? But yeah.
Well, they're on your piece, and for the folks who maybe couldn't make it out tonight, where can they see this piece in the future? Do you have any plans for it coming up here soon?
Well, I don't. It's going to go back to the Storytellers Museum, which Brian, who commissioned the piece, owns that in Hickman County, which he also owns Johnny Cash's Hideaway Farm.
Okay.
And that's only literally like a mile down the road from each other. So it will hang in that museum, and people can go there and see it if they would like. And who knows where it'll go from, there's beginning talks of possibly the Country Music Hall of Fame. I don't know.
I think, hey, Country Music Hall of Fame. I know you check in and listen to us. You should really check this out. And hint, hint, wink, wink. So, just throwing that out there into the universe.
I did not say nothing.
Back around. Thank you so much for taking the time to, first of all, put on this event and really just show off how beautiful Madison is in its history, because you hear so much about Franklin now, and I live up this side of town, and to see it represented so beautifully and just the true nature of what built Nashville is right here, and we're sitting in it right now.
And it's phenomenal. Yeah, thank you, Peyton, for this opportunity.
Thank you. And where can those listeners right now check out your work online?
Yes, it's my website is WayneBrezinka.com, and you can check out portraits of Lincoln. Of course, Elvis is on there, and Johnny Cash. A bunch of different folks and other work for editorial pieces as well.
And when you're checking them out, remember all of the pieces are made of little odds and ends, so you'll be able to catch a glimpse of them there, but to really see them and have their in true justice, come see them live.
Exactly.
Come see them in person.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.